Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. I'm Andrew. With me is my friend Dale. Dale, I don't know what even to think about yesterday's game.
Ooh, man, I'll tell you this: 9-0, baby. That's what you
That's
think about
right.
it. That's what you
9
think
to
about it.
0.
9-0.
That's
Come on.
right. Hey, that was a miracle block if I've ever seen one. But hey, today we're going to be jumping into this episode of the Chiefs and Broncos, recapping all those things and looking at a few things like who is Patrick Mahomes this year? He doesn't seem to be the same guy he's been before. And what about our special teams? They gave up a big play, but then they made a big play. So
Yep.
all that and more is coming up. So come hang out with us.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions.
How about those Chiefs?
Okay, Dale. So the first thing we have to talk about is the play of the game. You can't save that for the end. You just got to
No,
talk
no,
about it.
we gotta go.
Man, they line up. I'll just tell you this: leading up to this moment, the Chiefs. I'm like, okay, they can do this. All they got to do is get a stop, but
Yeah.
they drive down the field. Then they get that first down, the last first down the Broncos got in that game, and I thought it's over. It's over. They just got it.
Oh,
They won it. This is gonna be a chip shot field goal.
yeah.
They line up. And what do you know? Leo Chenal. Give that guy 10 game balls is all I got to say.
There you go.
You can't give that guy enough praise. So he came through and had a huge block to win the game for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Leo, he's been playing. They asked him to do a lot of things. And so him coming in there and blocking that field goal was just pretty epic for one. But yeah, it just felt like our defense has been kind of the strongest thing all year, except for the last couple of games, it feels like. And so
Yeah.
even though they're still holding teams to low points, it just doesn't seem like they're the same defense. And so I thought for sure we get a stop, we get the ball back, whatever, run the clock out. But that was not the case. So credit to Broncos, the team there, and Sean Payton for executing and getting down there to the 25-yard line.
Man, I know. That's crazy.
That's a chip shot in the league today. A chip shot. You said it, a chip shot.
Yeah. Any kicker in the NFL who wants to make a team has got to make that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So if they can't make that 10 out of 10 times, they're not going to be on the team for very long.
No.
So yeah, any kicker should do that. And they were even talking about maybe is the broadcaster jinx again, about how great this kicker was, how he's like 94% or whatever it is on all of his field goals, and just Leo Chenal.
Leo
Chenal. They forgot to factor him into the equation. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, hey, I'll tell you this though. So I was watching the game with my grandma and my wife Jill and little Chloe, who's about 11 months old now. Well, actually 11 months today. So right before they're driving down the field, the Broncos were, and Jill looks at Chloe, trying to explain to the baby as much as you can. Say, Chloe, it's about to get really loud. I said, Jill, it's not about to get loud. They just got a first down. Game's over.
The game's over.
What do you know? It was about to get loud. So, we were cheering, hooping, hollering, clapping.
Yeah.
And Chloe, Jill's like, oh man, what's going to happen to this baby? This baby thinks this is the funniest thing she's ever seen in her life.
Yeah.
Just belly laughing at us, celebrating like, hey, at least she sees the joy in this moment. And
that's right.
That's how you raise children, right?
Man, there you go, man. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. So yeah, it was, you don't think they win those games, and they find ways. And that's what we've been saying all year. They just find ways to win games. And whether it's a special teams, and you can call it luck, you can call it what it is, but it's not luck. It's those guys are working hard. They knew what they had to do, and they stepped up. And so when it seems like when the offense isn't playing well, the defense steps up. When the defense isn't playing well, it seems like the offense steps up. Tampa Bay and Kansas City last Monday night was they kind of like, okay, we got to put some points on the board. We got to score, and we got to help our defense out. And so, yeah, I think it's just, and you've been calling it all year. This is a total team package. And so we've seen where the special teams made a huge impact in the game.
Yeah, well, you brought special teams, so let's bring it up again.
Right. Yeah.
So remember to start that drive out, they got the ball up at the 40-yard line, the Broncos did.
I don't know why we're getting cute in those situations.
So we've been saying for years, and the whole league has to, that Dave Tope, the Chiefs special teams coordinator, as well as has the title of the assistant coach or assistant head coach.
Yeah.
Um, he's been known as one of the best special teams coaches in the league for years.
Yeah.
And now, we have these new kickoff rules, and this is at least twice that I can think of. The second time that they've tried something that has not worked.
Yeah.
Right, where they're, instead of just kicking it out of the end zone, it's like, you know what, drive the whole length of the field, as much as the length is after a kickoff now at the 30-yard line. We're going to go ahead and give it to you at the 40-yard line, spot you another 10 yards.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, is Dave Toub just not figuring out this new kickoff rule, or what is going on with this?
Yeah, I think probably some of it has to be execution, right? So I trust Dave Toub and what he does, and I'm so glad he didn't get picked up as a head coach because he is like a leader of men. Anytime he's on the microphone talking, it's like, man, I want to play for this guy, and so and you can tell that all the team loves him. But yeah, I think it's execution. I think he has ideas and things that, well, hey, this is how it should go. And then, well, the human factor, right? The Leo Chenal factor. It's like, you don't just take into account. And I think sometimes one of the things I think the Chiefs do is maybe they were trying, I don't know, not in the meetings. They haven't sent my invite yet. But where they do kick it out of the end zone so often, the Chiefs do, and Bucker has one of the biggest legs in the NFL, that maybe they thought they were we're going to catch them all by surprise and just relax here. Because what you would think at the end of the game, you would think like, oh, they're just going to kick it out. We'll get it to 30 and we'll go from there. But like, oh, if we do a swift kick, then maybe we can, surprise them.
Yeah,
which I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying that's maybe the logical
that's my next
thought
question
process.
then.
Okay.
So if you're in that situation, you're Andy Reid and you hear that they're going to try this, are you going to say, yeah, go for it? Or are you saying, no, kick it out of the end zone?
Well, I think you get one time. I trust you one time as a head coach. And then if it doesn't work, guess what? We're not doing it again. I mean, we're not doing it. So
if it's me, I'm just saying, no, we're not taking any chances here because our defense, while they've been playing great, they've shown that they've had some shortcomings in this game. And so we're kicking out the end zone and say, okay, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it the whole way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe Dave Toub was just tired of not getting his name out there and just saying, you know what? I'm not quite involved in this game enough. I need to be known to have my fingerprint on this game because in past years, because kickoffs were probably returned more in the past years than they are this year, just based on the new rules and coverage stuff. But maybe Dave Toub's like, you know what? I want to affect the game in special teams as well, which I understand. Special teams does play an important part of a game too, but there's a time and place for it, and I don't know if that's the time or place for it.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think they'll do that again.
No, probably not.
What does Andy Reid say? He has 51%.
He has 51% of the votes. So
I mean, I think it's I think probably he gives Spags a little more leeway there, but I think with special teams and offense, he has 51% of the votes, and okay, let's do it, let's go, and then so I think, and Andy probably got up at the board or at the podium and said, "It's on me, I should," but hey, they still won, so
that's right.
And it's also one of those things where you think oh, they only need 60 yards, but really they only need 30 yards to get in field goal range with these kickers that are it's not. Yeah. It's 3 first downs and you're in field goal range, or 2 even now. It's crazy what these guys are doing, kicking the ball. Yeah. So I know there's other podcasts talking about, do we need to make the goalpost narrower?
Well, that's what some people think, but
which I think would be I don't think you can change the game that much, can you?
I'll tell you, this would never happen, but it would be kind of exciting to see too. What if they had goalposts that were on chains or something? Maybe not chains, but that moved depending on where you're kicking from, right? So the closer you are, the narrower it gets, and the further back you are,
gives you a little more grace.
Yeah. So if you're kicking a 60-yarder, it stays where it is. But if you're kicking a 20-yarder, all of a sudden this thing's shrink in half or whatever it is. So, I mean, I'm not saying that would ever come to be.
Hey, man, we are in the entertainment business. We are in the entertainment business here. The NFL is the entertainment.
Would that not make it exciting, though?
Man, I'd be fired up.
Just say, hey, you know what? They just shrink in a little bit now. Instead of having the full width of it, you now got half the width to try to make it. I mean,
No.
Like the
Yeah.
chip shots that we just said they are. It's like, hey, 35 yards, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If it's that easy, 10 out of 10, maybe we should do something.
Hey, these guys have been kicking for years. They can't handle that. Then I can't tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You're professionals. They can handle
So,
it.
hey,
All right, we'll send it to the commission. We'll send it to the commission.
Send it up to Rogers. Say, hey, got an idea for you, bud. You want some excitement in these kicking scenarios?
Yeah.
Here's an idea for you. So
okay, so we're halfway through the season talking about special teams. What are you like comfortable with the kickoff, or you still think it's Mickey Mouse?
have
you gotten used to it, or what do you think?
I think it's just Mickey Mouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's what their goal was. They thought they'd be able to entice more returns, and I think they've enticed less returns.
Yeah,
because they've realized that. I mean, you can't move, but unless you're going to say, you get out the end zone and then you get it at the 40.
Yeah.
Because if you return it right now, you're roughly getting to about the 30. Every once in a while you'll get one through or something, but for the most part, you're just getting it back to the 30. So it's not making teams want to return it. And so,
I think the one thing, so we were at the Friday Night Lights and our team, the Spoof Hounds, shout out, won. We're going to the next round.
Hey, there you
go. They did a surprise onside kick. And I think that's something like, they steal possession. I think that's something, the element that you've kind of taken away from the NFL, because you have to declare it and you have to be down, and it has to, it's a whole bunch of rules where I feel like, it's an advantage somewhat to steal possession. And so, I was like, oh man, I wish I don't think I thought about the stealing of possession from the onside kick, where you don't do that anymore. So
you can't sneak those in anymore. So that's, it's not as exciting. I remember several years ago when the Saints were in the Super Bowl, they started the game with the onside kick, right?
Against the Colts. I remember that, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have that element in there anymore. So it's interesting. So what about this though? So the Chiefs win, but the offense didn't really look too good.
No, it did not.
And I know that we've talked about, leading up to this game, the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL, period.
Right. Yeah.
But there are several things, those areas of concern, and we'll get to our defense, I guess, in a little bit too. But starting with our offense, the most notable thing is our offensive line, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, especially that left tackle position. Morris got hurt, went out of the game for a large chunk of it, and so Kingsley Sumantua comes in there, the rookie left tackle, and that guy is just getting beat over and over and over. I mean, they were just lining up against him to where the one time we didn't chip on over there to help, Mahomes got sacked and got mad at the running back for not going over there to chip him to help.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do we do?
Yeah. We're going to have to, line up Noah Gray over there. We're going to have to line up Travis Kelce over there. We're going to have to, P. Ryan and Hunt, and they're just going to have to help out as much as possible. So, which I know takes a factor out of the big offensive game when you are relying on these guys to help block instead of go run routes or run the ball, and so,
Yeah. When you take a second out off your route, that's a big time disadvantage there. And we know from the 2020 Super Bowl, we know what happens when you don't have a good offensive line.
Right.
You just get beat and you can't do anything about it. And so, so should the Chiefs move somebody over there? Like, should they try to move Joe Thuney, who apparently can play the tackle position over there, and move one of those guys to guard or a different guy into guard, because you can kind of cover up a guard a little better than you can a tackle.
Yeah, so, that would not be a bad idea. I like that idea. Have you told Andy this yet?
I have not, but I'm sure they thought about that. But here's my my suggestion.
Okay.
What about a guy named Donovan Smith, who is still a free agent, who was with us the last couple Super Bowls here?
Oh.
I mean, would he be a possibility to come back and jump in here and be ready to roll? I mean, I don't know what kind of football shape he's in, but if he's still wanting to play, you would think he'd still be in football shape.
Yeah, hopefully.
But, I mean, if he is in somewhat football shape, I don't know that it would be a bad position to put you in to sign a guy like that and say, hey, we can only sign you to the league minimum because of our contract situations and our cap space. But do you want to go win another Super Bowl? I mean, I think that would be a really good idea to bring
That would,
somebody like that back. So,
that would be
because
definitely.
he already knows your offense. He knows how Patrick Mahomes likes to roll and move. And so you're not just bringing in a veteran off the street who has no connection with these guys. You're bringing a guy who won a Super
Yeah.
Bowl with you.
Yeah. That would. Hey, I like that one too. That one sounds even better.
I know, that's my suggestion. Where is Donovan Smith at? Let's go get him.
Let's go get him. Is he? Yeah. So it wouldn't be a trade because trades are over, but it would be
he's just a free agent sitting
that's sitting out there. Yeah.
So you can get those guys anytime you want to.
Anytime.
So let's go get them. So Brett Beach, we know you listen to this podcast. So here's your next idea.
Yeah.
Sign yourself, Mr.
Man, wouldn't that be wild?
Donovan Smith.
That'd be wild. That'd be wild. So yeah, I think also something that could help with the offensive line is screens, running, where you're not just the tackle or the defensive ends are not just pinning the ears back and trying to sack Patrick Mahomes. And so I think staying out of those obvious passing situations. Now I know obviously you can't stay out of all of them, but like shorten the line, sticks. I think that's going to be have to be preached and helped out for these guys to just a little bit, where the DN hesitates just for a second and it gives Pat just another half second to find someone that's open. But yeah, we've seen, and I don't blame him one bit. And I think every quarterback's like this when they're getting pressure with four guys. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's a tough day.
Well, and let's be clear, too. The Chiefs are not going to face a pass rush defense like this every single week. This is one of the better pass rush deep teams in the league. And so this is not going to be the everyday kind of thing, but it is going to be something that we need to be aware of, because when you get to the playoffs and even potentially the Super Bowl, most teams are going to have a good pass rush. That's how they got there. And so you got to be prepared for that. And the Broncos are a team that's up and coming. They right now, if the season ended today, I think they would still be in the playoffs. Maybe after yesterday's loss, maybe not, but they'd be really close to it. So there's going to be a team like that, if not them, that we might face in the playoffs.
Right.
So
the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, so you mentioned Patrick Mahomes, who didn't look comfortable all day long with just rushing four. And so the last two games, I thought, specifically too, our offensive line as a whole has not been playing very well. The second half of the Tampa Bay game, they played a lot better, but I mean, you shouldn't have to have a coach come in there and give you a speech every game to get you fired up to play.
No.
I mean, you're the only undefeated team. You're working for a three-peat in a Super Bowl, which has never been done in NFL history. What more motivation do you need?
I don't know. That's a great question. That is a great question. What do you need to get up for these games and play? I mean, come on.
I'm not saying every player's like this, but have they just gotten too complacent with winning that they just don't even get up for it unless it's a playoff or a Super Bowl?
And like you would think, but man, I think where I think also they are laser focused on coming in and winning. It feels like this year, but I feel like the league is not doing them a lot of favors. I mean, they played a late Monday night game, and then played the first. I know they had the Germany game, but I mean the 1 o'clock game, or the 12 o'clock for us, but 1 o'clock Eastern game on Sunday is a short week. So I mean, I just don't think we're getting a lot of.
Hey,
not saying we should get help.
Don't worry. They're going to play 3 games in 10 days in December. So
exactly. So you know what I'm saying. So we're just not getting a lot of a pat on the back. So I
don't know what you're talking about, Dale. I've heard that the NFL is a script for the Chiefs to win. I've heard that.
I've heard that over and over, but
I've heard the refs are in on it. I mean, I even saw a ref go and help Leo Chenal block that kick. I saw it happen. The ref ran out there in the stripes and all and pushed Leo Chenal in the way to block that kick. So it was crazy what the NFL does. So, but so the offensive line's got to be addressed. But then Patrick Mahomes being uncomfortable. So here's the real question, or a question. Who is Patrick Mahomes this year? I mean, the past we've seen as MVP kind of guy and probably could have won the MVP every year he's been in the league. But this year, I mean, his numbers, just even his accuracy, everything seems to be down. Now, I will say this in fairness. In the fourth quarter and critical situations, he's a lot better. But overall, he is not
Yeah.
playing the game he used to play.
Well, and I think after watching we're 9 games in, right? 9 games in. Week 10, we're going to finish on week 10 tonight. But I think they just have changed their identity of who they are on offense. So it's no longer, right, Tyreek Hill over the top, right? And man, I tell you what, I guess I did not realize. I knew he was good, Tyreek Hill, but he like changed our offense. And so Tyreek Hill is great. Yeah. And I think, I know he got the number one player, but after kind of thinking about it, like he may be the number one player. I mean, he changed our offense to where we could be over the top and like, he's just unguardable. But I think they've changed their offense to where like, hey, we're going to rush, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to just control the clock. Again, they had like over half the game, they controlled the ball. And so I think it's where but like what you said, where I think we still see him, I think he's the same guy where he has those, flat fourth quarter, like, okay, here we go. And they put the ball in his hands and then he goes, right? So I think what the Chiefs are doing, what Andy Reid's doing is saying, hey, we're going to rely on our defense and we're going to control the ball. We're going to control the game, and which they've done, except for maybe the Cincinnati game, but they still end up winning because of Mahomes, right? So, I just think I think they just changed, they morphed their identity. So I think that makes Patrick Mahomes, dare I say, even better. Even better than what he was, because now they're asking him to do something that he doesn't normally do, and then asking him to flip the switch when we need it.
Yeah, but when you miss a wide open Travis Kelce in the back of the end zone, I don't know that that's what they're asking him to do.
Well,
I think they're saying, "Hey, hit that guy."
Listen,
you and I both know. Worthy streaking down the sideline earlier in the game would have been a walk-in touchdown. Threw it out of bounds. Miss Travis Kelce, who goes unguarded for whatever reason, the end zone, which never happens. And Mahomes like, you know what? I think this guy's 10 foot tall. He can get it. And he throws it way up there where a 10-foot guy jumping might have had a chance. But
here's the deal, Andrew. There's only been one perfect man to walk this earth.
That is true.
It is not Patrick Mahomes. He's not perfect. And he's human. And I think that's always good to remind ourselves that he is human. But I mean, we both talked about that 9 out of 10 times. I mean, almost 10. I almost would say. I mean, you can't say 10 out of 10 because he missed Travis Kelce. But I think you give him that play again. I mean, he's making it, and I fully trust that. And so,
But I will say this: he had time to throw that, but because of what the pass rush was all game, he felt rushed. That's what a good pass rush does for you. That even when they don't get there, they're affecting you because of how much they've already affected you. Yeah. And so they rush that throw, even though he wasn't rushed, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so he felt rushed, and so he had to throw it real quick, thought he had to throw it real quick, and threw a bad pass because of it. So credit to the Broncos defense. They played great. Man,
honestly, they're good.
They probably deserved the win, but I'm glad they didn't get it. So that's
especially for all the Bronco fans we know, man.
I'll say that's about as much credit as I'm going to give the Broncos. They deserved the win, but they didn't get it. So
there you go.
Hats off to you. But Patrick Mahomes, I'm still going to take him number one overall. If there's a brand new draft today, still taking him first.
Yeah, and then Tyreek Hill second.
Yep, and Tyreek second. Yeah. So, but he's not broken. But to your point, he's human. He's going to make mistakes. I would like to see him clean some of that up. And I think by the time we get to the playoffs and some of those other times, and hopefully, if they figure out the offensive line, that's going to give him more confidence too, to stand in there and make those good throws. So when you don't have the time, it just rushes everything and makes you make poor decisions too. Yeah.
Well, the good news was no turnovers.
That's right. No turnovers.
So, I mean, that was, no fumbles, no interceptions, nothing, clean game, which I think is important. I mean, a few penalties, people not lining up right, and so, but other than
I mean, the Broncos defense shut down the Chiefs offense, and I'm not saying they were an elite offense this year, but Patrick Mahomes got a little more than his career average in yards, or not career, season average in yards, but they held Kareem Hunt to basically nothing. He got 35 rushing yards and only averaged 2.5 yards a carry. I mean, they came in ready to stop Kareem Hunt and say, beat us another way.
Yeah,
and luckily they did. So, but
there you go, a block field goal, baby. That defensive line for the Broncos is good.
Oh yeah,
it's good. And solid. I know we don't know a lot of their names because they're young, but man, they are Phew.
They're
Chunk.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but moving to the defense real quick too.
Okay.
I mean, there's some holes in our defense too. I mean, we talked about already the Jalen Watson injury being much bigger than maybe we realized or people realized at first, with these other guys trying to fill in, and so man, there's still some holes. But even Trent McDuffie gave a big play in yesterday's game for a touchdown. So all these guys, I don't know if they're trying to overcompensate for their missing piece, and in doing so are getting caught looking and so forth. I mean, Trent McDuffie got caught looking against the Buccaneers too, looking for the run and got beat in the pass there. And so there's just several instances that this defense isn't what it used to be 2 weeks ago even. And I'm not saying that they're not still a good defense. I'm not saying they're not going to get back to where they were, but they've had some mental lapses over the past couple of weeks.
Right. And I think something they'll figure it out. Like I've said all year, Spags defense just gets better and better. It's like it'll just be ready to go in the playoffs. And so they'll figure it out. I mean, there was maybe a guy on this podcast that was ready to fire Spags one year because his defense looked so bad. And then by the end of the year, he got him figured out. And so and won a Super Bowl. So shows you what I know. So
good thing you listened to the podcast at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, we were very new podcast at that time, very new. So we hadn't got up to those levels yet, but now we're there, and hey, we're rocking and rolling. So
that's right. Well, I will say this: the tight end position is still killing the Chiefs, though.
Yeah. Did you hear that stat on the broadcast? They're like the 31st or 32nd tight end production. The Broncos were, or the Broncos, like they used the tight end like the least amount of times in a game, and here they start throwing to them in our game. So I'm like, yeah, people know.
It's
it's
everybody knows for sure.
Yeah.
So they were killing us with that position in the first half, and luckily, to the Chiefs defense credit, they shut down in the second half and allowed 0 points. And outside that final drive, they were dominant, just forcing him out. So to what you just said, they figured it out. They flipped a switch, and they said, we got it figured out now. But man, against a better offense though, because the Broncos, we're not going to say yet is an elite offense, but against a better offense, I don't know what the Chiefs defense is going to do in that kind of situation.
Right.
I mean, we have Baker Mayfield who's throwing to backup wide receivers, and then we have a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix who looks like he's just doing whatever he wants. So
right. Which I thought they did. One of the points I made last week, our last podcast, was just containing Bo Nix, and I felt like they did a really good job at like containing him, and he didn't really run wild on us like I would thought he might. So that was good. But I feel like like earlier in the year, it felt like the defense would adjust within that first quarter or that first drive, and now it feels like it takes some time to adjust until like the half. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like where like we've seen like that first drive, the team scores, and then like all of a sudden, then they come out the second drive, and it's like, oh, they can't do what they were doing, and then it shuts them down. But now it seems like now it's taking a whole half for them to figure out what's going on, what they're trying to do. So just throw it to the tight end in the middle, man. He's wide open.
Yeah, man.
Whenever we had Willie Gay, that would be happening. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did someone mention that before, huh? Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? I think
hey, are you willing to say that is Willie Gay and not L'Jarius Sneed?
Oh,
I mean, who makes a bigger defense or bigger impact on your defense, Willie Gay or L'Jarius Sneed?
Sneed's out there covering a wide receiver. Willie Gay's in the middle.
That's not what I asked.
Flying around.
Who makes a bigger impact on your defense? Willie Gay. I'm not saying either one of them is bad. They're both great players. But who makes a bigger impact? Willie Gay or L'Jarius Sneed?
On this team? On this current team?
Yeah. Well, on the Chiefs. On the Chiefs in general.
Chiefs.
So, who's and
we have everybody else? Then give me Willie Gay. I'm just going to stand on. I'm not going to stand on that till I die, man. But I understand why.
You heard it here first, folks. Dale thinks that Willie Gay is better than L'Jarius Sneed and should have been paid more than L'Jarius Sneed. So
no. I'm not saying that. And I know
That-
we can't keep everybody on the Chiefs forever. I mean, we know like we have to make business decisions and things like that. And so, yeah, but I think he's a big help on our defense. And so I would take Willie Gay over Sneed if you could keep, one of them.
All right. Are you saying that just because you think we have more depth at cornerback?
Yeah, with McDuffie and Najee Johnson, man, that 13 Johnson, he looks good. He looks like a young Sneed, doesn't he? Like flying around making hits. That's what makes Sneed so great is he's not afraid to tackle. Yeah. And that Johnson is not afraid to hit somebody.
Yeah, that's the guy they were so high on, even coming into last year when they drafted him. And he got hurt before the season even started, and had a few bang-ups even this year. But man, if he turns out to what they think he's going to be, watch out.
So Brett Veach may have done it again.
He might have. So now, if only he could figure out the left tackle position, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
So hey, you know what? Even if we don't figure out this year, we know this for sure.
It will be figured
for sure.
It will be figured out.
It'll be fixed next year.
Yes,
I'm not saying it's going to be top 5 position, but it is going to be. It's not going to be it will not be a liability.
Yeah.
So
and who knows what Kingsley will be able to develop into?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, they saw him and they have high hopes for him. They saw something in him. So maybe another year of our off season working, and so hopefully he'll work on his craft and figure it out. So.
Yeah, we have high hopes for him. So even though we gave up a lot did not look good at all against the Broncos, I still think he has a lot of potential. He's still a young guy, still a rookie.
Yeah.
He can figure that stuff out and hopefully plug in there before too long. So we'll see. So, hey, well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We're so glad you came here to join us. The thing that helps us the most is to go like, subscribe, share this podcast, and more than anything, leave a review. That's how other people help us help find this episode and find all this great content. So leave us a review. That helps us more than anything else. So this episode is brought to you by Oh Hey Threads, where a portion of every purchase goes to support missions all over the world, one super soft tee at a time. You can get your own super soft tee or hoodie at ohheythreads.com. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.